Hello, 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 hello. I'm in the chicken coop, one of my chicken coops. I got quite a few of them here, as you can probably imagine. I'm gonna give a couple minutes, but I wanted to tell you guys a bit about how I integrate new flock members into an existing flock. I got this hair here that is like sticking out weird. I don't like it. We got a new rooster, not a new rooster, he's lived here for a couple of years, but another rooster here who's decided he has to, you can see him right there, decided he has to be in on the game today. But how to integrate new chickens into an existing flock, or how to integrate young chickens into an existing flock, is probably one of the most frequent questions I get. So I've actually integrated my new chickens. They're like, I don't know how old they are, like maybe 16 weeks old. They're Brahmas, Jersey Giants, white Jersey Giants, and I got a speckled Sussex over there. There she is, actually, right there. Hold on. Say hello. So, that is probably one of the most frequent questions I get, and everyone's like, oh my god, how do I do it? And the answer is, it depends on the situation. So, what I advise in the blog, because I can't know who's going to be reading it, right? What I tell people is to separate the young chickens from the existing flock and let everybody meet and greet. And once it seems like it's okay, probably like in 24, 48 hours, then go ahead and integrate everyone together. You don't always have to do that. In this case, I didn't do that. This coop right here, only up until I put my chicks in here, had hens in it. And the hens are like 3-4-year-old hens. They're kind of, nobody's really that bossy. Nobody's really, that much of a you know what. So I knew that the hens were kind of, the calmer type, right? I wasn't so worried about it. So that's like the number one thing. Was that one? It was all hens in here. I do have 2 or 3. I haven't decided if one of these is a rooster or not. The Brahmas are a little bit harder to tell because they got the short little stunted combs. And at this age, they're kind of getting their hackle feathers and they're kind of not. And it's a new breed for me. So the hen looks, I'm pretty sure one of them's a hen. And it looks like she's getting some hackle feathers, which are not really, you know what I'm saying? So they're a little bit androgynous right now, so I'm not really sure if one of these Brahmas is a rooster or not. I'm not really sure what I got, but I know that the speckled Sussex is a pullet because she's showing all the signs of a pullet, right? And I also bought pullets. I specifically chose pullets. They're in there somewhere. Like they're like all hiding right now. They're camera shy, I guess. Anyways, the Jersey Giants are like, you can tell, like there's no question who is a pullet and who's a cockerel. There's like no questions there, right? So anyway, so I knew that the hens that were already in this coop were sort of, got along with everybody, no personality issues, right? So with these guys, honestly, one night I came in and I just threw everybody in here. And it has not been he's got like, hold on one second. His comb is like, I guess look at this rooster's comb, okay? If ever there was a comb to see in the world, it is this comb. It's like the biggest, see, like, it's got that weird wrinkle on it. Anyways, he has got like the biggest comb ever. And you know what? I don't even like that rooster that much. Like, obviously I like all animals, but like, he's kind of a pain, and he's kind of the reason why we have a coop that's just for hens, because these dang roosters, like, I want them here to like keep predators off and to like, get bugs and everything, but they like harass the hens. It's like ridiculous. So we actually lost a couple hens this year because of these stupid roosters. So everybody, all my hens, my laying hens, are now in a coop here. Trisha Kelly asks, how many roosters do I have? I don't know. I want to say maybe 7. I've never actually stood here and counted them. A few years ago, I decided I wanted to try and breed some breeds true. And so I bought some roosters, and that didn't really work out. So I didn't really want to, I didn't want to like butcher them because, they do bug control around here. It just didn't really make, like, structurally speaking, it just didn't make sense. And I don't like eating heritage breed roosters anyways. They take too long to grow, and it takes too much money to grow. So, I prefer, if I'm going to raise meat chickens, I prefer quarters crosses. So I let these guys hang out. They do bug patrol. They do keep the predators away. We have noticed a quick reduction in skunks and possums. We used to have, when we first moved here, we had a really, really bad possum problem. We could not hold on to a lot of young chickens if they weren't in a setup like this, specifically because of the amount of possums that we had. We would be getting we would get woke up in like the middle of the night and to banging, and it would be a possum getting the roosters. So, or the possums getting any of the chickens, right? So, that's been the advantage of keeping these roosters hanging around, even if they are harassing my hens. So, getting back to these chicks, basically what I did is in the middle of the night, it was like 8 o'clock at night, I kind of just threw everyone in here, and we had a little bit of drama the first day, nothing serious, right? And so, they're going to do that, right? And that's the thing, is like, a lot of people, they'll message me, they'll email me, and they'll say, I just put them in there, and the hens are kind of pecking at the young ones, should I be worried, or what do I do? And it's going to happen, right? It's going to happen because they have to sort of figure out who's boss, who's the boss, and who's where in the social structure, right? So they're going to have moments of feathers flying, but it only gets serious if somebody gets hurt, right? Or if it goes on for an extended period of time. At that point, you need to kind of like look at your structure and go, okay, well, what's possibly triggering this? An example of this is I had a guy email me, and I love when you guys email me, so don't take this as like a way that like, I'm making fun of people who email me, but he said, I have these chickens, and he described some really gory stuff going on in his coops, right? Stuff that's like extraordinarily gory and should not be happening. And so I said to the guy, well, how many chickens do you have in one space? Like, how big is the space and how many chickens, and what are they getting? Because it read to me like either, like, they were stressed, right? And either they're stressed because they didn't get enough food and everyone's fighting over the food, or they're stressed because the space is too small. So, and I never heard back from the guy after I kind of, mentioned those things, so I don't really know what the deal was. But those are situations where, so you got to really make sure that there's enough space and there's enough food for everybody. And that's one thing that we do here, is we make sure that there isn't just one spot for food, right? So there might be 2 or even 3 spots. So like the other day, no, it wasn't the other day, it was like this morning. Okay, this morning, hold on, sorry, the grip on the phone was wonky. It just looked like the hens that were established, the older hens basically, were going to hog all the food, even though I had it in like 2 different places. So I put it in a 3rd place, right? And everybody gets food, everybody gets water, so you kind of have to play it like that. I have some questions here. Teresa asked if chickens and roosters are the only animals I have. No. I have every farm animal you can possibly think of, except for sheep, cows, llamas, and alpacas. And I think if I got any of those, I would be in worse trouble with my husband than I already am most days. We have rabbits, we have pigs, we have a goat, we have chickens, ducks, we have a quail, horses, and I think that's it. I can't remember anything else we got. I think that, we have cats, obviously, but I think that's all I got. I got to think about it for a minute. Trisha asks how many chickens I have. I don't have that many anymore. You can hear them kind of squawking at each other there. I don't have that many anymore. I have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I think what 14 covers it. I think that's what I got at this point. I'm actually trying to reduce the amount of chickens I have because we had a lot. Oh no, there's another one. Actually, what am I talking about? No, I got like 20 because I got like some over there. I got old timers. I got 2 roosters over there. I don't know. So it's something like that. But anyway, so I'm actually trying to hold on. I'm getting bitten by the mosquitoes out here. I'm trying to reduce the amount of chickens we have because you know what? We don't eat eggs as often as we thought we would when we first came here. So, hi. So what we ended up having was a lot of eggs, which made my pigs very happy. And not really much use for them besides... Y'all need to stop squirting. Stop it. Stop it. Behave. I'm telling them how good you are, and you guys are being naughty. Knock it off. Anyways, sorry. They're going to do it, right? They're going to do it. But it's the difference between... Stop it. It's the difference between... I mean, the chicks, honestly, the chicks are being kind of like babies. They're just kind of... I mean, all she's doing is kind of like running after them and like poking them a bit, and they're like screaming like they're going to die. I mean, it sounds worse than it is, but it's going to happen because they got to figure out their social hierarchy, right? There's a bug on me. So anyways, yeah, so we're trying to actually reduce the amount that we have. Because it's a lot to feed, it's a lot to care for, and I want to have, honestly, I want to have, like, a nicer coop area, and if we don't have as many chickens, that's easier to accomplish, I think. If you have a lot of chickens, like, there's some bloggers I know who have, like, a ton of chickens, and they're having to, like, barrier off whole acres, right, and that's fine, but, you know, unless you have a lot of money to pour into fencing, that, you know, it's going to look kind of, you know, not what I want my yard to look like, right? So, I mean, you get the point. So, we're actually trying to reduce the amount of chickens we have. One, because we don't eat eggs that often, and I want them to be more like the other thing is when you have, I'm going to get out of here, guys, because I am being bitten the hell up by mosquitoes, because it's just, that's what Missouri is like this time of year. I'm going to go stand in the grass where there's, like, less mosquitoes. When you have a lot of chickens, they're not treated as pets as easily as if you have a fewer amount of chickens, right? So the rule of thumb with chickens is it's 1 or 2 chickens for every family member, right? That's going to be your egg supply for the year, and that's a pretty good, you know, in my experience, it's a pretty good rule of thumb. When you have a lot of chickens, like let's say you have 38 chickens, unless you spend a lot of time out there with chickens, which honestly I don't have a lot of time to do that, they're going to not be treated like pets the same way. They're more like faces in a crowd. I want our chickens to be more like pets, right? Where we have established relationships with them, we know their personalities. So we're actually trying to reduce the amount of chickens we have, specifically so I can do that. So we can have the cute little coop. We can have, you know, enough space for them. And everybody has enough space, but some of our coops, you know, I'd rather not have them in my backyard. Like, they're kind of like slapped together, which you can kind of see it behind me. You know, it's kind of like slapped together, so it's safe. It's, you know, it keeps them safe from predators. It keeps them, you know, dry in the rain. It keeps them out of the sun. But I really just would rather have a cute little coop that, you know, we can put on Pinterest, right? I think that's a worthy goal, to have pets and a cute little coop that goes on Pinterest. So that's kind of the deal. So yeah, Trisha said it's like this, and so the mosquitoes are just ridiculous. And the problem is that we've had a lot of rain, and they get worse when it's raining. I got little bunny rabbits running around my property, so I'm just kind of checking them out. We're running an experiment this year with some of our rabbits to see how they do, kind of like running around the property and eating grass. And it's actually really interesting because we've noticed that they're pretty healthy, and we haven't really lost any. So they kind of just distract me as they run around. I'm not sure what we're going to do. I think what I would like to do is I would like to truly fence in the whole property and make it so that, like, predators can't get in here. And then I would just like to let my rabbits run around and eat grass, because I think it's healthier for them. Right now we have to keep them kind of separate. and there's, you know, there's we're getting into another discussion, but there's positive and negatives to all of that. So anyway, so yeah. But anyways, guys, I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope it answers some of the questions about when and how to introduce chicks to your flock. It doesn't have to be this big dramatic thing. You don't have to worry too much about it. Really just assess the personalities. That rooster is like, these roosters steal the show, I'm telling you. Yesterday I did a live stream and one of my horses was stealing the show. These roosters, I mean, whenever I do like a video for like a class that I'm teaching, or I do an interview. The other one is interviews. When I do interviews, people are like, is that a rooster? And I'm like, yeah, you just got to accept that there's roosters in the background, because I don't even hear it anymore. Like, I literally just don't even hear it anymore. Yes, I do get rest because they don't crow at night. And honestly, at this point in time, we've been dealing with it for so long, it's white noise. Like, the only time I wake up from roosters is if they're literally standing outside the door and crowing their head off. We only have one that's done it. And one day I threatened him because I was so tired of this rooster crowing at like 5 in the morning outside my door that he's not done it since. He goes off somewhere else to do it. So, should size matter when introducing them? You know, it depends. It depends on the size, really. I wouldn't put chicks, like 4-week-old chicks, I probably wouldn't put them with the big hen, and I definitely would not put them with a rooster. And that's something actually I meant to mention. We've had big issues introducing chicks, particularly pullets, to roosters. We don't do it at this point. If we are going to put, there's maybe that guy in there, I would actually consider it. We have actually lost pullets to roosters fighting over them, and it's graphic, it's horrific. So at this point, we don't do it at all. I probably wouldn't put 4-week-old chicks with hens either, like older hens either. These guys are 16 weeks old. That's when I introduced them. I would have liked to have done it at 12 weeks. So that's probably when I would do it. The other thing you need to think about is you don't necessarily want to put chicks outside in the elements before they have all their feathers. Even if it's sunny out, if it's going to rain, they might get too cold. So my rule of thumb is everybody's got to be fully feathered, and they got to be somewhat size compatible. These chicks are smaller than the hens. They're probably like 2/3 the size of the hens. So they're not able to, like, I mean, if push came to shove and it was like Lord of the Flies situation, I mean, they probably could hold their own, but they're not experienced enough to know how to fight the hens, right? So the hens are going to peck at them and they're going to run away, even though they're kind of the same size. So that's kind of my rule of thumb. Everybody should be fully feathered just to protect them from the elements, and they should be somewhat size compatible. So that's the deal. All right, guys, I'll stick around for a few more seconds if you have any other questions. I hope that has answered them. But basically, just look at the personalities. She said she has 3. We only have 2 Brahmas. Okay? We had... Listen. I don't even know how to process this. We'll never have dogs on this property again, because my husband says he wants a husky, and I'm like, okay, I'll give it a try because my coops are safe, right? But we had ordered like 30 chicks this year, right? I had ordered 6 or 7 speckled Sussexes. I'd ordered like 15, something like that, 15 Jersey Giants. I'd ordered like 15, not like I want to say like 7 Brahmas. We have 2 because the dog came in and killed all the chicks. I left the door. It was like a hot day, so I left the door on the cabin open. Dog went in, killed like at least 25 of them in a span of like 30 minutes. It was ridiculous. So we do have Brahmas, and I like them a lot, and I actually think I want more of them. My rabbits are running circles. I'm not sure when we're going to get them, but... Alright, hold on one second. When that noise happens, that means that there's an issue. Hold on. What are you jerks doing? Oh, really? Hold on. Yeah, I know. That's why you shouldn't have gotten out. Hold on one second. Yeah, I told you not to get out, and you got out, didn't you? That's dumb. Hold on. Live TV. When the roosters make that sound, that tells me that they got a hen. This ding dong, this is Hawk. She is an Americana. Live TV, right? It's super exciting. When this hen got out, okay, I'm gonna put you back, and you're gonna stay in here with your friend, okay? Because I'm not dealing with that again. I told you not to get out. Damn. Now he's gonna go and... Sorry. That was like... That had to be handled right there. Because... When they make that sound, when the roosters make that sound, and you heard the sound, and if you didn't hear the sound, watch this when this live stream was over. That sound means that they're about to pile on a hen. I know what that sound means because I've heard it my whole fast friggin' year with these stupid roosters. That is the sound of a hen potentially getting hurt. Okay? That is what it sounds like when a hen is potentially getting hurt. So that's why I said, you know, guys, I gotta take care of this right now. Because I knew it was a hen, but I forgot Hawk had gotten out. So Hawk got out, and I didn't want to run after her because, let's face it, chickens can run faster than people. And I didn't want to run after her. So, I don't know how she got out. I'm going to have to find out and see. But that sound, remember that sound. That is the sound of a hen that is about to be gang piled by a bunch of roosters and is going to get hurt. And it's a very, very serious thing. It's not a joke. Because what they will do is they'll either hurt the hen's back, right? Or the other thing that they'll do, this is why I don't like roosters anymore. I'm okay with that one guy in there because he's a good rooster. The other thing that they will do is they will do it so much that it will open up the hen's chest and she'll actually get sores there. And then you're possibly looking at fly strike. Okay? And if you don't know what fly strike is, go look it up on the internet. It's disgusting. Basically, it's where flies lay eggs in the open sores. And they start eating away. So basically, they're eating away at the live animal, and they're also like maggots are basically like so getting all into it. It's like it's filthy. It's disgusting. If you get it soon enough, you can save the animal's life. If you don't, which with chickens it's hard because they don't tell you what's going on until basically it's over. You're screwed. So it's really, really important to not let the hens get piled on by the roosters, because that, maybe I should write a whole blog post about that. I never thought about that, but that's one of those things where it's like, I can tell you based on experience, it's not a good thing. So that's why, you know, it's not good to have more than one rooster per 10 hens, or even more than that. I mean, if you live in a fairly safe area where there's not a whole lot of predators and you just want a rooster, maybe you want to hatch chicks, it's totally okay to have more than 10 hens per rooster. If you are going to, if you live in an area with a lot of predators, like I know some people who live in an area with lots of like hawks and bears and coyotes and everything, then you want to kind of keep, you know, one rooster for every 10 hens. But that's the reason why it's really important to stick to those sort of ratios, you know, and have less hens, or sorry, less roosters per hen, per amount of hens, than to, you know, have all these roosters, because that is a very, very serious thing, and it does happen. It can happen very, very frequently. Hold on. Is that ding dong stuck? Hold on. This is like why it's like, I swear to God, like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna set up like a video camera in these coops and have it, just because it's like as the coop turns around here constantly. So anyways, I didn't know that was gonna happen, but that was one of those things that I was not gonna let that that go on, because that's something that has very serious implications. It doesn't seem like it would, but it does. Hi, boss. My cat's here. Anyways, guys, I'm going to go inside and wash my hands, because now I've touched who knows what from roosters on my hands, and I don't want that. It's gross. So I'm going to go wash my hands with that. I don't know if you guys have seen that the Thieves kit, the Thieves hand wash from Young Living. I'm going to go wash my hands with that, because that stuff is awesome, and it gets rid of rooster semen on my hands. Okay, that was TMI, but I'm going to go now, and you know what? Watch for that blog post, because I think I'm going to write one on that. It's my come to Jesus moment about roosters. I think roosters are more trouble than they're kind of worth. I really kind of, like, they're good if you want to, like, have hatching eggs, but for the most part, I think that they're kind of like, I don't know. If you got lots of people have good roosters, and those roosters are fine. Like, we got a good rooster over there, but too many is way too much drama, right? All right, guys, I'm going to go, because I'm going to go eat dinner too, okay? Thanks for hanging out. If you have any questions, leave them below. Bye.